think about it. We've been manipulated a long time with media, whether it's newspaper, whether it's television. They make us form our opinion by their articles and by their facts, not by our own facts. Now the times have changed. The newspaper's kind of gone away. A lot of people are on the internet searching stuff, watching video, whatever they're doing. So they're finding out more information, and then they form their own opinion, whether it's right, wrong, or other, or has one fact or four facts behind it. They're forming their own opinion, like the R. Kelly thing, exactly.
Right.
They're forming their own opinion, saying, okay, well, he did that stuff, he's horrible for that, but he has good music. There's, you formed an opinion. Right. Some people say, I don't care about him at all. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I can't stand what he did. I don't want to hear music. I don't want to hear nothing.
Right.
And then you got some people that go, well, who's R. Kelly? What did he do? There's some people that just don't care to look into different things, and maybe they're not up to date. But I'm just saying this. We've been manipulated a long time ago.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for this edition of Meet the Shoe. We are going to do a roundup of what we went through this month. Our discussions were about sex trafficking and manipulation. And the march that we went to with missing and murdered Indigenous women. We were able to watch the governor and the mayor discuss how they will make changes in the Indian Native community as far as their murder rate and how they feel like they're not accepted as far as being first on a list of the people that, when their people, are missing or murdered.
Right.
They talked about how they will put more police on the force, donate and give out more resources and funding to the programs of the missing and murdered Indigenous women. Also in the Black and Latino community as well, because sex trafficking is become higher as of now than it ever has been. So, Sade, how do you feel about that?
Well, I feel that how the mayor and the governor want to make changes, as far as, when a police is called on a situation of a grown woman missing, or you think your child is missing because she's a grown woman, they don't take it as seriously. And when I think all calls should be taken seriously to a certain effect, especially if you say someone's missing or you haven't seen your adult child in a day or so, and anything could have happened to them. So they need to take that extra step and precaution. And as far as a lot of places in reservations, police don't even search.
Right.
And it's sad that.
Well, it's like it's private land.
Yes,
and so they take their time on it because they don't have control over it. So that's a part of manipulation too, as far as in the police department. That's just another form of manipulation as far as, give us some more leeway, take away more of their rights, as far as control, they can't control that environment. So they're like, oh, well, why are you calling us? That's how they are perceiving it. That's how the Indigenous women are perceiving how the police are acting when it comes to them. Like, they don't think it's that serious. They think it's their like it's separate. No, we're all in the world together. Right. So if it was someone like one of us that was, say, for instance, a police officer's daughter or son came up missing and it happened on a reservation, they would pour out every police, whatever, watchdog, whatever, to find somebody that was important to them. And that's what the women were feeling, separation, because, why is it like that? Why isn't it, as important as anyone else that's not on the reservation? If it's important to us, then why isn't their issues important to us, So that's what I got out of the march, and that I liked a lot the togetherism. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
They're very close knit, have a great unity. unity is very strong in the Native American community. So that was really nice to see everyone come together for one good cause, and that's to help find these women that are missing and transgender men.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you think, Lisa?
Well, I think too, just hearing things, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong when I say this, but the elders have put in place over the years many specific laws and regulations that that people of legal, like police officers, cannot come onto the land or to reservations. So I think that a lot of the people that live on different reservations maybe need to go to the board, their elders, and talk to them about revising some of that, when in fact it's for a very specific purpose as to finding people that are missing.
Right.
I think that they put so many rules in place. I know President Clinton put some stuff in effect back in the day when he was president about Native American rights and so forth.
Right.
I think that because the land is different states, it's different rules.
Right.
It's also based on the tribe. It's also based on their regulations and their rules of how you can proceed and even go on the property. So I think those need to be revised as well, because times are changing where it's becoming where people are missing more and more from reservations, and nobody can really do anything because it's a separate thing. It is completely separate because they have their own rules and laws.
Right.
Because they're protected by the state. Not the city police that are there, or the county police that are there. They're protected by the state and they've submitted those laws from the elders or the people that are in charge, the board of their own peers.
Basically. Do you blame them though? Like, do you guys blame them? Like, doesn't it seem as though, so much, just think, a whole country has been stripped from you, You don't have no control of nothing. You sit back and you watch the government take over what your ancestors found first, And so, like, today I read that in a Chicago high school, instead of saying Christopher Columbus Day, it's saying Indigenous Day.
Oh, okay.
They're claiming that day as Indigenous Day. So it's like, more and more as we get older, and we might see some equality change. We might see what the Native people been hoping for, and Martin Luther King has fought for, and all the people in our past has fought for. We might slowly, we're kind of seeing. And also I seen today that they demolished, it's illegal to have a Confederate flag. So down south,
right now at Lake City High School in Minnesota, there's a picture of President Lincoln, who was not a Confederate. The Confederate flag in the very top corner, and then another gentleman, I don't know who he was. I took a picture of it while I was there for a basketball tournament.
Wow.
It's in there. Also, I wanted to touch one thing. October 14th is considered Indigenous Peoples Day. It's on Apple's U.S. holiday.
Okay.
They did change it now. It doesn't say Christopher Columbus. So they're changing those things.
Amen.
But the Confederate flag is so many places. It's going to be very difficult.
Well, no, today they said it's illegal. It's in federal court. It's done. Just like they just yesterday made Emmett Till lynching. That's a federal crime. Like now, hate crime's already been like high on our list as crime, but it's already stamped and sealed now.
Right. But it shouldn't have been a crime all the damn time. If you a crime against a person.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You can be a crime against a person, so that is a crime within itself. You should go to jail.
Right.
Lynching, stabbing, shooting, anything. So why something has to be put into law? Say, lynching is a federal crime now. It should have always been.
I think it was a crime, but it was never a federal crime before. It was a crime, but it was not. There's a lot of states that don't even care. But let's just say in the real world where it's supposed to be a crime, is probably a local state.
Yeah.
It'd be a state thing. Now it's a federal. It's gone up a level. Yeah. So, but still, who abides by that? I haven't seen a lot of states abide by federal law yet.
Right.
No.
Not for something
and
like
it
this.
always would take for someone to really fight. There's a lot of families out there that they don't have no one to fight for them.
Exactly.
They don't have a friend that will challenge the police or challenge the justice system and all. So it takes for platforms like this for things to be discussed so people can be, just more aware, more careful. You never know your fate You know what I'm saying? You never know when it's your hour is up, your time is up, your minute is up. But there is measures that you can take to be a little more cautious and definitely aware. I mean, like, we want to be informed on everything that's going to help us. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to hurt us, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, and so as far as manipulation, now manipulation in the industry, right? Touch a little bit on the indigenous women with the manipulation. It could still be manipulation with the mayor and the governor saying that they're going to put more, resources in place and more police officers, more investigators on these cases that been missing, people been murdered, and they haven't been unsolved cases. It could be all capped because it's election time.
Right, exactly. That's exactly why they're doing that.
And with it being election time, lots of people constantly have all these things that they act like they're gonna say or they're gonna do, or they constantly say, hype it up. Oh yeah, I'm doing this. This is for, I'm this kind of person, for government. You know what I'm saying? Vote for me because I'm gonna help the prostitutes and I'm gonna help the people that's missing. I'm gonna help all the families. I'm gonna provide these resources. I'm gonna give out this money to this charity. So, we know that it was, it's election year.
Yep.
And we'll just have to see what's going to happen come November.
So that's another thing, too, like, even if we touch on that, Bloomberg was actually the last 4 commercials he's had is based off of African Americans.
Yes,
Which,
I've seen
that's
it.
a big thing because there's nobody that will actually say that out loud. They'll say, I did this, I did this in this school, I did this where it's majority are African American. He's out there showing, like the woman from, was it Target that did the products there. She backed him.
Right.
It was like the last 3 or 4 commercials he's put on TV has been about that.
Right. Oh, and guess what else he got? He got a black dude that said that he did prison time.
Yes, I saw that.
You seen that? And when he got out, and that Bloomberg has donated to his organization to help the youth not go to prison, right?
Correct.
For him to be able to give back to the community and provide all these resources for the young people to do recreational sources and recreational things within the community. So it's like he touched on everything. But the New York, the Central Park 5, Santana, he's hot. All of the Central Park 5 been going against Bloomberg because they specifically were the ones that were convicted because of the law that he placed, and he didn't even apologize. I think that's so less of a man of him. Okay,
so
you're
that's why
human.
He's flipping script now is because he's trying to gain all that support back after this happened.
Right.
He's trying to gain it all back. But here's the other part. When we talk about all the elections and the manipulation within the different ads and who's better, who's not, and so forth.
Right.
My question, and they're providing all these resources for all these people. Doesn't matter who the people are. How are these people supposed to get to the resources? Let's start there. How are they going to know what's available to them?
Right.
That's the other question.
Right.
Like when my son got in trouble, he was like, how do I get a job? Where do I go? Who's going to hire me? What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? Where do I go for treatments? Where do I go? He didn't know any of that stuff. We had to get pages of paper to figure it out and call all the places ourselves. There's a lot of people that can't do that.
Wow.
If they have anxiety when they get out, if they have depression, if they have any of those things, they're not going to go in. What if English is a second language? They're not going to know how to get to those resources.
Right.
So I think that having maybe, I just like a headquarters of where you go.
Yep. For all the
certain
things
like
that when
throughout
you get
the
out.
state. And then that one, if they're looking for it, they can pull that headquarters can pull up those resources and deliver that piece of paper or make that call or give them as someone to call, rather than just saying, "Oh, here's all your resources. Here you go."
Right.
And then they go, "Okay, well, do I go apply for that one? Do I apply for this one? Am I
Right.
What do you do?
They need
Take a
somebody
step
in
back. We got all
place.
these resources, but what actually are you eligible for?
Right.
And what do you meet any requirements or?
Right.
What if you need those resources and you don't qualify to receive them,
Right.
but you know you need them?
Right.
Those are different things just to step back and look at. Even though they're providing the resources, doesn't mean that they're able to support each person.
Right. And so now we're going to switch gears a little bit. Okay, so for manipulation as far as the Kobe Bryant case with, him dying in a helicopter crash, his wife, on the day that they gave the memorial service, his wife had filed a lawsuit against the company,
Correct.
the helicopter company, and she had put out a statement stating that, I don't know if it's in place yet, but she's supposed to be suing the newspaper that put out fake news about her daughter, her oldest daughter, tried to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Like, that's manipulation in the industry as well. It's like, I will tell you this fake story so you can purchase what I have. You can give me the clicks, because now it's clickbait. Anybody that clicks on things that you're associated to, you get money for that. Anybody viewing longer than 5 seconds an ad, you're getting money, right? So anybody can put anything out there, and if you're consistent enough, it can catch on, right? So what do you guys feel as far as if your loved one died? Neither one of us, we're all mothers, can imagine losing our husband and our child. Right? We cannot imagine that. Right? We don't know her pain. We know that's some deep pain, though. But we don't know that. So if someone, just imagine somebody, like you said about when your son got out, right? And he didn't have his resources. That's frustrating to you because your mom, and he's looking like, help me. And you can't help, even because you have other kids.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
He's almost 20. He was 20 years old at the time almost. It's like, you're an adult legally, but you're still a child.
Right.
You don't know
And
what
he's
to
still
do.
your child.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, the kids always is going to look at mom. They going to run to mom immediately. I don't care what it is. Something that you don't even know nothing about. You'll find yourself for your kids looking in places and having conversations and being around people or just environments that you wouldn't be, but you're here for your loved one.
Yes.
And so the fact of, even with like Snoop Dogg having a conversation this week with Jada Pinkett and explaining himself as far as he loves women. It wasn't about that. He just wanted to protect, the same as 50 Cent, protect my friend.
Right.
Speak for Vanessa because she's mourning right now. I couldn't imagine, like how we couldn't imagine losing our child and our, mate. And I'm speaking for her because I'm just hearing it is hot off the press.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed off. And immediately, what does he do? He goes to his huge platform. But guess what? It didn't stop anything for Snoop Dogg. It did for Boosie. Because Boosie was really disrespectful. I gotta say that. He was disrespectful.
With this Kobe Bryant thing, the one thing that was really sad about it when we talk about manipulation, we talk about media manipulation,
right.
is when TMZ came out with saying that the daughter was killed as well. They knew beforehand.
They knew,
And the gentleman that was the sheriff in that department said, and TMZ will not be allowed to do anything. Everybody's locked down, basically. Keep your mouth shut.
Right.
Because they released it before anybody
Before
knew.
anyone knew.
Oh,
They put it out there on
Vanessa didn't even know.
Nope, she know nothing
Oh
about
my
it.
God, y'all.
They released it saying that the daughter was dead and he was dead,
Yeah.
and they released it like an hour or so before they
Less
even
than an
came
hour
on
before
the news.
Yeah, before even the sheriff even got on the news.
Yes.
This is
Oh,
Kobe
see?
Bryant.
But that's what I'm talking about, manipulation with media. It's not always correct.
Right.
They only said them. They didn't say the other 7 people that were on there.
Right.
9 people,
Right.
whatever. They didn't say any of that. So manipulation, it's our kids are being manipulated every day. Look on
Right.
Facebook at all the fake videos on Facebook and all the fake stuff on Instagram and all the fake people, all the people that are dressed whatever ways to make them look famous and they're not. I mean, it's all manipulation in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Depending on how you take it and run with it.
Right.
Do you believe it or
So
do
could
not?
you do you guys think that could you ever live in a world of no media? Could you? Like, cause we're controlled by it. Like, as soon as we get done with this podcast, we're gonna check.
The media,
we're gonna
right.
check
What's
the
going
media.
on?
We're gonna check our what is it? Text messages. We're gonna go and scroll for our next topic. Like, what would we do without it? And how much of it do we need in order to survive this world? Even being in the because we're of industry,
Right.
You know.
What I'm thinking is we're gonna always need media.
Mm-hmm.
It's your mind frame and how you look at the media. You have to be, how can I say, mindful. Okay. So we need to be mindful of what type of news we're listening to, and be more fact finders.
Right.
Because there's a lot of fake news out there, and people believe fake news without doing their research.
Yeah, but you know, but just think about it. You got a strong point. You say fact finding, right? Where else we gonna find out if it's true? And we want to be the first one to tell the story so we can get the points. You know,
Right.
really, it's about a point system, right? It's about a conversation. It's about clout. It's about, you know, who knew it first, who's doing it first. So where we gonna find it at? We only gonna find it on the internet, unless we start making some phone calls and don't be rushed to be the first.
Right.
Sit back and chill and tell a better story. Because
Exactly.
regardless of the fact, people still want to see. I don't care if we just, for instance, we're going to touch on that in a second about R. Kelly. We still all read. It's just natural about R. Kelly because he's been in our lives our whole life.
Right.
So he's still one of the greatest singers. We're not going to take that part away from him, but now you're frowning down on him. You do that by just human nature because of the act, right, that he has done. But outside of that, we still like his music. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So what do? We still want to hear and see and know everything that is going on with the
Well,
case.
it's updated. Think about it. We've been manipulated a long time with media, whether it's newspaper, whether it's television. They make us form our opinion by their articles and by their facts, not by our own facts. Now the times have changed. The newspaper's kind of gone away. A lot of people are on the internet searching stuff, watching video,
Yeah.
whatever they're doing. So they're finding out more information, and then they form their own opinion, whether it's right, wrong, or other, or has one fact or four facts behind it. They're forming their own opinion, like the R. Kelly thing, exactly.
Right.
They're forming their own opinion, saying, okay, well, he did that stuff. He's horrible for that, but he has good music. There's,
Right.
you formed an opinion.
Right.
Some people say, I don't care about him at all. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I can't stand what he did. I don't want to hear music. I don't want to hear nothing.
Right.
And then you got some people that go, well, who's R. Kelly? What did he do? There's some people that just don't care to look into
Right.
different things, and maybe they're not up to date. But I'm just saying this. We've been manipulated a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah, a newspaper that comes out, you read an article and you form an opinion. You say, how did that happen? And you look at all the stuff they give you.
Right.
They don't give you everything.
They don't give you
Right.
everything.
They
Just
give you a handful of things to form an
And then
opinion.
you
So
go on your
nothing's.
own.
The only thing that's different is that it's gone into a digital format rather than a
Right.
paper format or run over and talk to your neighbor format.
Right.
It's more or
Right.
less,
Well, back then we only could see visual through a magazine.
yeah,
Or the
or the
news.
or the TV,
Right.
or a newspaper.
It wasn't nothing that we can, nowadays we can just pick it up and look on our phone and go right to the news blog and get everything that we've missed. Back in the day, we had to back it up. We had to wait till it come on again. There was no way that we could hear about it again, right?
Right.
But saying that to say, we touched on the Kobe Bryant, touched on R. Kelly and the missing and indigenous women.
And Harvey Weinstein got convicted
And
this
Harvey
week.
Weinstein's convicted.
Oh,
How do
yeah.
you feel about that?
I think he should have got more than just those two, because only two of the the women that testified are the ones that he was guilty to.
Right.
Okay.
The
That's
other
it.
ones were over the statute
Yeah,
of limitations.
Okay.
So
Correct.
that's why he didn't get charged.
And
And
there
did
were
you
a lot
guys
of
know
other
that there
women.
were black women on the
Yes,
jury?
the one was on TV. Actually, she spoke about that. She
Yeah.
spoke about the trial itself. They actually submitted pictures of him that they didn't understand why they were submitted of him.
Uh-huh.
They were naked pictures of him submitted in the case.
Wow.
Whoa.
And a lot of the women that are on the jury would not look at those.
Oh, wow. How did they get that?
Right.
I think the defense put that out there, showing that he was taking naked pictures, like he wasn't afraid to be out of the norm and keep these pictures. Like they were
Okay.
out there. I don't know who had them or whatever, but I remember the interview with the woman, and she specifically said it was a very difficult case for her to kind of weed through the facts and weed through the evidence the way that
Right.
they needed to. But I think and he's been faking that he's been old and injured for a while now.
Right.
So.
Well, he's on Rikers Island now, and in the hospital, and then he'll go to Rikers.
He went right. He was
until-
having heart problems the minute he left court, so they took him to the hospital.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. I know that in the past they say that guys hate rape and more child molesters. I mean, that's obvious for that reason. But the rape men that are charged with rape, they have it harder than
Right.
anybody
Yeah.
in the jail. So, yeah, his family and whoever is going to have to, really hear those horror stories. I don't know how he's going to make it through that time because, see, from my understanding, the situation with Bill Cosby, he is like paying the people to back
look out
up,
for him.
look out for him, and they're like praising him because they don't really believe it. But Harvey Weinstein, they feel like he had more force and he
There's
was
more evidence. There's a lot more evidence against him than there was of Bill Cosby. A lot more physical, actual evidence
Right.
of that, rather than a lot of the women just saying so. So it's just a little different. So I don't know. I think he's gonna end up probably either killing himself or just dying in there because
Right.
he's not. Just like that gentleman that was in there before that they said hung himself.
Wow.
The cult thing that they were doing, like this sex cult thing.
Right.
The actresses and whatever
Yeah.
else too. And
Bodine.
yeah, and
Okay.
they said that he hung himself, but the way that his neck was broke,
Uh-huh.
it looked,
So, like-
somebody had
Looked
to
like
choke
somebody-
him. There's no
yeah.
way he could have got that from hanging because it was too far in the middle of his throat. But anyway,
Well, they haven't let that come out. They haven't let
Oh, they
that
gonna
come
keep
out.
that on.
Yeah, and then the guy, Lawrence Ray, that we touched on, the college professor,
Yes.
that was,
FBI guy.
yeah, the FBI, and he manipulated all of his daughter's friends. He's still going through trial. They're saying that they don't know if he's going to have a fair trial or not because it's been in the media. So
Of course.
we'll have to keep you guys updated on that. And thank you for another edition of Meet the Shoe. Tune in next week for our next topic.